Right, we're live. Here we go. Exciting to be here with you today. Are you fired up as I am? And we always are. We're a few minutes early before we get started on this hangout, but I want to make sure that everything's working today. We had a couple of issues with the hangouts lately, and let's just make sure we're good here. All right. Can do Q&A, do cameraman view. All right, we just make sure everything's working. All right, then we're in the room and we are live broadcasting. Today we're going to talk about doing presentations. So I hope this comes through well, and that we can keep you interested and on target. So I'm excited. And I know you are, because presentations are the key to your success. I mean, think about it. If you really want to make it happen, your presentation has to be on target. And I'm getting a little fuzzy on the picture, so I have to apologize for that if that's not coming through. And it's not the bright shirt either. So this is the presentation we're doing today. Great presentations, and it's noon and we are ready to roll. So if you're not here for great presentations, you might be in the wrong place. I don't know. I hope you're in the right place. How are you doing with those presentations? I mean, I always like to ask people, when you do a presentation out there today, is your audience fired up? Are they into what you're teaching them? Are they feeling good? Are they learning something from you? And most of all, are they buying? Because I think that's one of the most important things is, especially if you're a salesperson, and even if you're not, we all sell, is are they buying you and are they buying what you're presenting? Because when everything's done, we do this because we've got to get something accomplished. And a lot of times that something that we want to accomplish is selling something and getting someone to take some action on that. So I'm going to try to give you a few tips here. I hope you've had a chance to look at the blog, read the article, and really had a chance to get a feel for what we're going to talk about today. So let me tell you my story, all right? Because I think it's important. And as you'll see, stories are key. What I'm going to try to do here is, as I present this today, I'm going to try to use some of these techniques that I'm going to try to teach you. And we only got 30 minutes today. We're here every Friday. So let me just do my commercial before we start. Every Friday, we are here on a hangout. It's 30 minutes. It's free. We got subjects coming up. I'm booking guests starting, I think, either the last week in January or first week in February. We're going to have some other people. In fact, we always throw that out to you. If you're interested in being a guest, then just email me. Go out to the website, pick up the email. It's simple. It's Manny@MannyNowak.com. Give me an email and say, hey, Manny, I'd like to be a guest on your show. This is what I could present. And if it's something that we feel is important to our audience and something they want, we're going to put you on. So we're going to try to at least have guests, 2 times a month. And if we have some really powerful stuff, we'll have even more. So we're excited to have you here. So I go back. If you went back to my high school, or you went back to grade school, or even to college, people don't even know who I am. I was that shy kid. I was that person that nobody knew. I mean, to see me on the stage today, to see me as a networking person, if you asked any of those people, Manny, are you kidding me? That guy, and they wouldn't believe it. And even when I got out of college and I went into my career, I was a computer programmer. I built software for years. So I would sit at my desk and I was perfectly content doing that. And yet, here I am today because I had a mentor who said, Manny, you got more potential than that. And if you really want to make money and you really want that success, you got to be able to get up. You got to present. You got to be able to do this. So I learned. And any of you can learn. And as we'll show you at the end of this, we have a great 2-day session. I mean, what I'm going to give you today is the crust. And what you can do through, I have a bunch of articles out there you can read and you can build on that crust. But if you want to really do this, then we'll share something with you we have at the end. But I don't want to go there right now. All right, so here is one of the questions you have to ask yourself. How can, and I started to say, how can I, but it's really not I, it's you, isn't it? How can you be a star? Because I want to tell you, even though you think you don't need to be a star, when it comes to being on the stage, you have to shine. People have to look up there and people have to pay attention. And they have to feel that what you're presenting to them is something that's going to change and that's going to benefit them, because everybody's into it. You know, we're all into what's in it for me. And whether you want to admit it or not, that's the way life goes. So let me start with the thing that probably drives me craziest in all presentations out there. It's this one. PowerPoint that what? Rocks. Just doesn't happen. In fact, the sign should say, the thing that drives me crazy is PowerPoint that sucks. And, you know, I hate to go using all kinds of words, but most times you go to a presentation and you see PowerPoint up there on the screen, and or maybe they're using Apple's tool, which is even better, but and they're using this tool and you say, what? I can't even read that. I get so far from the stage and I can't even read what's up there. And it's confusing and I don't understand. And then the presenter starts reading the slide and you're like, oh my gosh, how many years have people been talking about you don't read PowerPoint slides? How many years have people talked about slides need to have 8 words or less? And that's just a key for you, 8 words or less. But what I like to do in PowerPoint, and if you've been to some of my presentations, you know, is I like to use pictures. I like to use video. I like to use a few bold words up there, because that's not my script. If I need a script, I need to put it down here so I can see it. And that's not something for you to just, if you can't look at a slide and in a matter of that, understand what's on that slide, it's too much data. It's wrong. It's not what you need. You need slides that work. So I encourage people, get some pictures. You know, you can go out on Pinterest. You can go out on Google Images. You can find millions of free pictures, or better yet, take your own. If you want a picture of something neat, go find it. I use pictures of the ocean. I use whatever is relevant. But if you show a picture, a lot of times it'll just make me smile. It'll make me think. If you show a video, you know, and I recommend less than 45 seconds in a presentation like this, and I'm not going to show you one today, but show a video. But come on, guys, let's dump that garbage PowerPoint. If I go to another presentation and somebody says, oh, this is a great presentation, and the slides stink, all of a sudden I'm like, I don't care how great it is. Either dump the slides and you'd be better off, or make them look good. So key one for you today in your notes, I want you to really put, my slides should have 8 words or less. They should have pictures if possible. They should be bold. They should be able to be read from 75 feet. So if you can do that, you've got a key. All right. How about this one? Am I not funny? No, I am not funny. But you know what? I no longer have to be funny. And guess why? I no longer have to be funny because I can grab a picture, or better yet, I can go out on YouTube and find something hilarious and show it to you for 15 seconds, and you're laughing, and all of a sudden you think, wow, man, he's pretty funny, isn't he? And I'm not. And what's worse is those of us out there who try to be funny and we're not, those of us are even worse than the rest. So don't try to be funny if you're not. I don't tell jokes because I mess up the punchline too many times. But if I got a presentation and I want to be funny, let me go out on YouTube and I'll find something that'll be really good and I'll throw it up there, and all of a sudden people will be like, wow, that's really cool. Manny must be funny. And I'm not. All right, so tip number 2 is you need humor at certain points in your presentation. And if you're not funny, stop trying to be. Put something in there. A silly picture. Like, I'm trying to think. I use all kinds of weird stuff, and I'll put a silly picture up there, and people will start laughing, and I'm like, see? It can be funny. All right, you need one of these. If your audience isn't listening to you, you're wasting your time. And I mean, if your audience isn't listening to you from the start, if you watch some of my other stuff, one of the key things I tell people is, and I didn't come up with it, actually I learned it from James Malachek, who taught me, do something different. Like, first of all, I don't need a lengthy introduction. People don't care who you are. They want to know what you present. So I don't need a lengthy introduction. Just say, hey, it's Manny. And I'll be in the back sitting at a table with somebody else, and I'll start talking from the back. And what happens when I start talking from the back is everyone in the audience has to turn around and look. Who is that? Where's that coming from? And now they're not looking at this, are they? They're well, what's going on? And they've left their phone. They've left their conversation because I've distracted them. If I'm up there, they're not paying that much attention. But I'm in the back, and they can't hear what I'm talking about unless they see me. They don't know what that is. And that's one way to get attention. Other ways, do you get people up during your presentation? Do you make them flap their hands a little bit? Do you make them shake hands? I do a lot of interactive stuff. So I get them to do something with their neighbor. People want to be involved. And if that's how they listen, if they know that they're not going to have to sit there and say, oh my gosh, an hour of listening, I'm not sure I want to just listen. But all of a sudden they see, wow, there's something else going on here. Now they're paying much more attention. Hey, I'm glad I got some water here. I didn't realize I had put some water here, but I get so excited about doing these. I love doing presentations, and that shows. And that's why people like my stuff. And you too. When you're up on that stage, you got to be excited. You got to really show that passion. Like, first of all, it's not just about me. It's about what am I presenting? Do I have that passion about what I'm presenting? Yeah, I think I got some energy back here. All right, next thing we're going to talk about is stories. Do you have stories out there that you're telling? Do you have stories out there that people can relate to? The old saying, as I've said on multiple of these, is never tell a story without that story having a point. Never make a point without a story. You saw me begin, and I said, you're here today, and what's the first thing I did? I made a point that anyone could do this, and I backed it with my own story. Now, there's some good stories out there, and yeah, you can go out to the internet and you can get all kinds of stories, but the best stories are stuff about you, stuff that's happening or has happened in your life. That's the stories that are really going to rock people. That's the stories that are really going to get people to pay attention. And we all have them. Let's think about it. I mean, I tell people when I coach them, one of the first things I tell people is what you have to do is you have to write down some of the things that happened to you. And even though you don't think they're funny, and they may have been embarrassing, and they may have been very tough for you to get through, but they are what will connect you with your audience. And I don't care if you're doing a free talk, or you're getting paid $10,000, or you're presenting $1 million contract, you need some stories in there because they connect you with your audience. And people get so, we used to call it so IBM, right? So so straight and straight-laced. You know, one of the things I like to do, that's why I have a wild shirt on, as you're going to hear. That's why I wear Hawaiian shirts sometimes, because I don't want to be like everybody. Even if I'm doing a high-level sales presentation, I'm not necessarily going to walk in there looking like everyone else. So get some stories. Next. All right. And think you got this one, right? You got to be somewhat crazy. All right, how crazy are you? Are you crazy or aren't you? You got to be crazy because people expect you to do something. Now, you don't have to jump up, but as I tell people, you know, I do this opening and say, I'm the greatest. I do that great Ali line. And what it does is it gets people to pay attention because they think, wow, what's going on here? That's not all there is out there. There are other ways. Like I tell people, if I knew how to juggle, if I could flip on the stage, whatever, do something, especially if you're on a stage. But even if you're doing a presentation, even if it's a sales presentation with something silly, come in there with a wild shirt. Come in there with a hat that's different. Come in there with some crazy glasses. You know, one of the things I did do a lot of presentations is I have those snakes in a can, and I'll start talking about something, and then all of a sudden I'll say, and guess what's in here? And I open it up and the snake flies out, and you know what? Everybody knows it, but guess what? I just hooked my audience, and they are paying so much more attention to me. Just think about that. What is that worth? You need that. So there it is. Be crazy. Are you fired up? Are you feeling good? Is this what you want? Is this what you're looking for? Are you looking for ways to make your presentation better? You know, we're here every Friday at noon Eastern time, and we're here to teach you and to help you to learn better the skills you need. And as I stated at the beginning, if you're interested in being on the stage here with me, send me an email. I got people lined up for February and March already. I think we may have 1 or 2 slots left. If you want to come in here and you have something that the audience is going to love, come on in and share it with me. All right, next point, show and tell. Now, cross out handouts. Don't do handouts unless you have a very specific purpose, because you don't want people looking at your handout. I go to things, people, first thing they do is they start talking, and then they take a handout like this, and they hand it out to everybody. And what you've done is you've just killed that presentation. You just killed your presentation. Why? Because what they're doing now is they're reading, and nobody's paying any attention to you. Now, show and tell is a little different. Show and tell is important because you're handing out, maybe if I was, you know, if I was presenting an iPhone, I would take one of these and hand it out. Let people feel it, see what it's like, see how it works, right? It's one thing, or I might have 2 things. I was at a presentation, the guy was talking about, you know, you need air conditioning service, and he was doing a presentation about how people need to remember they need the right service, and sometimes it's a $3 part that's keeping your air conditioning from working, and you don't even know it. And he hands out this piece, and he passes it around, and it's black and grimy, and you say, and he said, this is what happens. Be careful. Get this part changed, because some people will come in and tell you your air conditioning doesn't work, and it's a $3 part. So that's show and tell. Went to a presentation, guy was talking about boxes and the different types of boxes you can use, and how when you ship, you got to have the right box, and if you need a custom box. And he passes out a couple boxes so we can see weird looking things. You say, you often wonder, how do people ship something that's weird like this? How do they get the box and the inside of the box? There's companies out there that do that. So it was a great presentation. And you see what I've just done? Are you with me? Is this how you present? Do you see what I've done? What I've just done is I've made a point, and what have I used to make that point? A real story. And what made it even more valuable was that real story was about me. All right, let's go on. Next point is, and this is the one I use, smile. I love doing live presentations because when I smile up here, guess what happens? Everyone in my audience, I look out there, I smile at you. What are you going to do? Give me a grumpy face? Come on. You're going to give me a smile back. And it loosens up your audience. And if you're in a small group, it's even more powerful. Because when I smile at you, they say, well, this isn't just a vendor. This is a real person. So don't underestimate the value of that smile. And even more importantly, you know, I'm a Marine, and I went through boot camp, and my smile at that point didn't do anything but get me in trouble. Today, it's the powerful tool. I mean, I used to stand at attention, you know, you stand at attention like this, and a drill sergeant's up in your face and telling you all this stuff, and I can't help it. I just smile. It's my natural thing, and it got me in trouble time and time again. But out here, it's one of the most powerful things that you can use, and one of the things that will really release your audience. When I do a presentation to a bigger group, I'm always finding those people that when I smile at them, they smile back. That's a hit. That's one of those key people. And you see it in the class that I teach, the full session. We often talk about finding those 4 anchor points in your audience, because there are people that you can talk to. There are people who you check to see if you're on target. You find 4 of those people, and we talk about how you can use that. Okay, let me go. I burned through my time here way too quick. It has to be simple to retell. Now, this is so important for you. If somebody can't come to your presentation and then go out and retell your story in simple words easily, it's too complex. Now, do you understand what I just said? If someone can't retell your story, it's too complex. So you've got to say it simple. And that's why, you know, that old saying about tell me what you're going to tell me, and then tell me what you told me. That's still so valid. That's why when we teach in the class, we talk about 3 points, always only 3 points in a presentation. Tell me what you're going to tell me. Tell me what you want. Tell me it, and then tell me what you just told me. And then I should be able to go out, because first of all, we teach 3 points, and now you can retell that story. All right, I got one more, and then we'll do a recap. Practice. This is the biggest thing that people leave on the table. Practice. Why is it people don't practice? Why is it you think you can come in and sell me and just wing it, or maybe go through it once or twice? Have you taken time? We do, again, in our formal long-term training, one of the things we do is we teach you, you need to know and anticipate all the potential questions that could come up in this presentation. And you need to have either them in your presentation or be ready to answer them. Don't get blindsided. Practice it. Do a video like this. Even when I do this every week, do you think I just come out here and do this? Now, some people do that. That's how they do webinars, and you can tell. No, I practice it. I want to make sure that even when a webinar, when I'm on here, that I'm good and I'm smooth and I know what I'm talking about, because I've tried to wing them and I'm pretty good, and I still get ate alive. All right. So that's just, you know, those are some simple points, and I just want to recap them real quick. Remember what we said when we started. How can you be a star, right? That's where we want to go. All right. You want PowerPoint that rocks, and PowerPoint that rocks has to have pictures. You want to be funny. If you want to be funny, you need to use YouTube or whatever, unless you're a comedian like some people out there. You have to get your audience to listen. You have to have stories. What is I told you about stories? Never tell a story without a point. Never make a point without a story. You have to be somewhat crazy. Now, how many people can really do a presentation without being somewhat crazy? If it's show and tell, but never handouts. I want to tell you, even when we do our boot camp, if you've been, you notice we don't hand out our study guides until after the opening keynote. Why? Because I don't want you looking at it. Smile, one of the most important tools you have. Simple to retell, and you have to practice. Now, we've given you the crust. What's next? Well, I want to talk to you a minute about 2 days that if you seriously think that you want to be a star on presentations, then let me just show you something if I can find it. Okay, let me share something with you here. All right. Yep, and that's not what I wanted to do, but it's okay. We'll get there eventually. All right. Here we go. We'll do this offer for you, and let's do a screen share. Okay. Here we go. How about 2 days of live training doing this? And when we train for these 2 days, you do up to 5, and sometimes we do more, sometimes a little less, presentations starting with a simple minute, going up to 10 minutes. And you do these in front of a group. We only have 8 participants in this class. You start small and you get big. You rock the world. Okay? I mean, all kidding aside, you come in and you do a presentation. We video, we look at it. Everybody gets to critique you, including yourself. You go back, you make some changes, you do a second presentation different. We watch. This goes on for 2 days. Do you think after doing that, for 2 days, you're not going to become awful good? And I don't mean awful, but I mean, do you think you're going to become good? You are. That's what it's all about. I want to tell you, you will become a star. So let me do this again here. Okay, so are you ready? The question is, stop thinking about it. You know you need this. You know you want to do this. You know you want to get good. You know it's going to make a difference for you. It's an investment of time and an investment of money. So can you afford the time? And the question that I always pose to everyone that I share with out there is, what are you doing different this year that's going to make your business rock? Because if you're not doing something different, then why do you think the results you get at the end of the year are going to be any different? They're not. You're going to have the same results you had last year. So here's the special for you today. 2 days of training, and they're full days. We're going from 8 to 5. And our next session is scheduled. We're going to try to fill it up. Remember, we got 8 slots. Once they're gone, they're gone. Wednesday and Thursday, February 17th and February 18th in Woodbury, New Jersey. Your cost, only $697 per person. I got 8 slots. We're going to try to fill them today and in the early part of next week. If we fill them today, they're done. Once I get the participants, we're closing out, and we'll schedule another one. But if you want to get started on February, you put it on your calendar, sign up. I'm going to give you the link here in a minute. If not, you can always go to my website and look up presentations. Everything's out there for you. I want you there. And I would like to see you be able to be there. And so let me share this with you. Here is the link. And again, you can just go to the decisioninstitute.com And if you go there, you will pick up the link. This is the link. It takes you directly to the sign up, or it's actually more information, and then you can make your decision to sign up. Or you can just go to Manny Nowak, NOWAK.com, MannyNowak.com, and you can, once you get to the web page, you can see that one of the options is presentation. This is for you if presentations are something that you really believe you need to be a star. Hey, we've reached the end of our time. Gosh, I'm excited. It always goes by. It flies by. We'll be back here next Friday. If you didn't get a chance to watch it all, it's always up on YouTube. It's going to be up on the website. So watch this again. And please sign up for our course. We'd love to have you there. It's going to be a fired up course. And I'm just excited about it. I hope you are. Go out there. Knock them dead this week. Have a great week. This is Coach Manny saying, as always, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for being here.